On Divorce Court today, did a sex contract replace romance for a couple who started dating when she was a teenager? Sherell has grown into an independent woman, but Terrence can't trust that she's faithful. Terrence Wilson and Sherell Johnson have brought their dispute for Judge Lynn Toller to resolve. Testimony in divorce court before your vows starts now.
Mr. Wilson and Ms. Johnson, the two of you have been together for 6.5 years. You have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old together.
Correct.
He asked you to marry him. You guys got engaged a few months ago.
Yes.
And now you're here because you've got issues and you're wondering whether or not marriage is a good idea. You've brought your marriage license here. You've given me permission to tear it up if I think this union is ill-advised, or else I could give it back to you. You've taken my compatibility test, which, you know, was a little deep, and we will get to that momentarily. But before we do, Mr. Wilson, I gotta ask you about this.
Yes.
You have a written contract with Ms. Johnson about how much sex you guys are supposed to have every week.
Yes.
Now tell me how it came about, what's in it, and how you got her to sign it.
Well, basically, Your Honor, when we first met, we used to have sex all the time. Spontaneous. I mean, people would tell us, stop kissing in public, stop holding hands, go get a room, all of that. About, I say, 1.5 years ago, it all changed. We can go 3 weeks. If I don't initiate it, it's not happening, it's not going down, it's out of the question. So I came to her and I said, let's go a contract. We can have sex every other day. She agreed, but the stipulations to that contract is if we miss a day, then we have sex 2 days. For instance,
I got it.
If you get 2 days off first with no sex, then fair is only fair.
You gotta double up.
Double up. You know, so that's where we're at with the sex contract. And I just feel, I don't want the sex contract, don't get me wrong. I feel like the sex contract was only a way for me to get my needs met.
Let me ask you something. I'm gonna get to you.
Spontaneous.
Why do you think the sex diminished in the last 1.5 years? What do you think precipitated that?
When I met Sherell was 16 years old. I was 26 years old. So over the course of 6 years, you know, she's matured and changed and became an older woman. And I've matured and changed and became an older man. So I don't know if that her sexual drive is not like it used to be. Are
you still the same romantic devil you used to be 6 years ago?
I'm sly. You're right. I watch your show all the time. Big fan. So like, you can't just go to the car at 10 o'clock at night and try and drive around the corner and think that you're gonna get 4 o'clock. So what I do,
you warm the car
I wake up in the morning, I do breakfast. I do lunch. Let's take a shower together. Let me give you a massage.
Got it.
I'll get a bunch of, no, I don't want to. So then at 10 o'clock at night, I still want what I wanted.
Right.
Regardless if you didn't want what I was trying to give you. So that's where the contract come into play.
Now, Ms. Johnson, your response to his concerns.
What I don't think he likes is that I'm a grown woman and I say no now. When I was younger, I did lie to him about my age when we first met. And he ended up finding out my real age. We stayed together. When I was younger, I would do whatever to please him. I was always, yes, whatever you want. Now it's more like I speak my mind now. He doesn't like that. That's what I feel. But like he says, you can't go to the car and just drive off. That's what he tries to do. Because based on that contract, I'm supposed to, no matter what he says, no matter what he does. And that's not fair.
Now, before I ask you to respond to that, what did you just hear her say?
That I'm very selfish. In so many words.
No, not quite. Look at her. You came out here and entertained me. You were jovial and happy. She is angry.
Because he's lying.
Yeah,
it's making me very mad.
What are you mad? What's he lying about? And what are you mad about?
He doesn't cook breakfast. He doesn't cook dinner. Like, why are you lying? Let's be truthful here and call it what it is. You get mad when somebody tells you no. It doesn't have to do with just sex. It's anything. I cannot say no to him or I'm gonna have to deal with the attitude all day.
Mr. Wilson, look at her. Did you hear her voice?
Yes.
Do you see her face?
Yes.
What do you think she's feeling?
Hurt, unappreciated, unloved.
Why do you think she feels that way?
Because at times, everything she just said is true. When I first met her, I was 26 years old. I was running around the street, holding her in the air, putting her on my shoulder, tickling each other, water balloon fights, fun and games. She's like kind of brought the kid out of me. But now that we're both adults, it's no playing, it's no fun.
You know you got 2 children, right?
Yeah, we have 2 children and I have 1 before her. So I have 3 children, yeah.
Playtime is over.
Right.
Thank you.
They get to play.
Yeah.
But you can't play no more. I mean, you can every once in a while you can have. I mean, I'm saying, but it's not going to be that same carefree,
Happy.
you know, running in the park barefoot and all that.
Right.
There's too much to do.
Right.
You understand that?
I understand. And on that note, when I first met Sherell, I moved out here, moved to my home city I live in from another city. I was out there acting up, selling drugs, not doing what I was supposed to do. My house got shot up. I came to move to where we at now. I met Sherell, and I was still selling drugs, doing the same thing. When she got pregnant with my son, I went to culinary art school at Laney College, finished my culinary art school, got a job, and I started trying to do the right, mature things to take care of my family and to show her that I appreciated her, stand by my side when I was a knucklehead.
Next, what happened when Sherell found Terrence in a car with another woman? Are you considering marriage but aren't sure that your intended is really right for you? Call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com. Become a fan at facebook.com/divorcecourt. Couples in crisis, real resolution. Divorce Court continues.
Ms. Johnson, I understand that Mr. Wilson accuses you of cheating, but in reality, you've never cheated, but he has cheated on you. Why don't you tell me what his jealousy is like and what he's done with respect to the cheating?
Mr. Wilson actually cheated on me several times. One, it was a girl I didn't even know. I was walking down the street with my mom, and he drove by in his car. He seen me and tried to duck her head down. So I told my mom I'm going back to the house because I knew he's seen me and he's going to be on his way, and I have some words for him. And he ended up meeting up with me at the house, and he argued with me. We went our own separate way. He begged me to come back. I came back. Another time, well, most of our arguments are always over sex. So one time I went to sleep. He tried to wake me up, I guess, several times, and that didn't work. So he woke me up by pouring water on me. I woke up, we argued. He told me I might want to leave because he's going to have his friend come spend the night, which is a female, because her and her boyfriend was arguing. So we argued, I left, and I actually had to sleep in a park that night because it was 1 at night.
Mr. Wilson, would you care to respond to the allegations of cheating and the incident with respect to the water and the park?
The water incident, I don't recall. And I'm not saying that as a cop-out, but if she said it happened, it most likely probably did. The incident when she said she slept in the park and the leading up to the water incident, I remember her sleeping in the park and the young lady did come over.
How was that okay with you that your wife was in the park? The mother of your children was out in the elements when bad people are all around and she was alone and you had some other chick in the house. How did you live through that? How did that not just break you in half?
I was wrong, and at the time, I didn't feel like... When that happened, me and Sherell had just met. We wasn't really...
I don't care!
We were living together.
I don't care! I wouldn't let a woman that I didn't know at all, who was 18, 19 years old, go sleep in a park.
You're right.
By herself.
Thank you.
You're right.
I mean, who does that make you?
I was wrong for it. I have no excuses for it at all.
And what kind of life do you lead that you can't recall throwing water on somebody? I mean, I could go, hey, Joe, have you ever thrown water on your wife? He would say no. It wouldn't be, well, I don't recall, but if she said so. Do you live a life of such chaos that those kind of events are common?
Then, yeah. Now, no. And I say that because then I didn't appreciate Sherell. I didn't appreciate what I had. I didn't respect Sherell. I didn't respect her as a woman, as an individual, or as even for somebody that was giving me the time of day. I basically took advantage of Sherell.
When did you stop?
I stopped
because according to her, you still the same.
I stopped when Sherell got pregnant with our son. And I I know you're gonna hit me.
Is that the first one or the second one?
That was the first pregnancy. Sherell got pregnant with our son. I was an idiot still before I made the correction, and I cheated on Sherell again. And I had to come to her and I had to tell her that I think she needed to get checked for an STD. So.
Oh, no. That's not how that happened, ma'am.
How did it happen, Ms. Johnson? I know I'm gonna get the truth over here.
You
tell me.
Yeah, he went to the bar one night. I was pregnant with our son. So I'm a homebody. I'm always at home, cleaning, cooking. He comes home. I wake up the next morning. Oh, he didn't wake me up. I'm not even paying no mind. Great for me. You know, I get the night off. The next night, he doesn't initiate sex.
See, that was a red flag right there.
Yes. So I accused him. I said, why don't you want to have sex? Oh, I don't know. I'm just not tripping. Okay, so a couple days later, his phone rings. I answer it. It's the doctor. They need Terrence to come in for a follow-up. I didn't even know he went to the doctor. So I confronted him with that information, and he tries to put it off on me like I gave him an STD. He tells me that I gave him something. I'm pregnant. So me and my child both have an STD, and I gave it to you when I'm not doing anything? He later on admitted to it. But he used a condom. It just broke.
When Divorce Court Before Your Vows continues, what secrets will the compatibility test reveal?
Do you think Terrence and Sherell can change their ways and make their marriage work? Call 1-800-282-1991 to vote now and see if America agrees with your opinion. You'll also receive some valuable offers. Call now.
If you would like your case heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com and join the conversation on Twitter at Divorce Court. Divorce Court Before Your Vows continues.
I took a look at your compatibility test, and frankly, they just alarmed me. I mean, I was just alarmed. You couch it in terms that are other than who you are, but who you are shines through. If you could change one thing about your intended, what would it be? I want her to listen with an open heart and mind. I want her to take my feelings into consideration. Right. You don't want her to listen with an open heart and mind. You want her to do what you tell her to do. No, that's what you want. That's what you want. Because the 5 things you listed about yourself, you were stubborn, overbearing, hard to talk to, short-tempered, and loud. How can she listen to all of that with an open heart? All of that is one direction. It's you to her. This is what I want. This is how I want it. This is how I like it. And if I don't get it, I'm gonna get louder, and I'm gonna get closer, and I'm gonna make you that much more uncomfortable. That's who you are. You wanted that 16-year-old girl who had no more sense than to obey you. When she came out here, I knew what was happening. What I don't think he likes is that I'm a grown woman and I learned how to say no. That's what you don't like. Look at her. Look what you did to her. You took a kid, you knocked her up twice, and then you beat her in the head with your wants and your needs and your desires, and you never considered how she felt. And every time you didn't get what you want, how you wanted it, when you wanted, you beat her up with words and with anger and with loudness, and you put her out of your house in your bed to bring another woman in there. She can't talk to you. She has no voice in her own home. She has no sense of safety in her own home because she knows at the heart of hearts, if you really want to do it, you'll just put her out in the street and whatever happens to her, happens to her. Because that's what you wanted at the moment. There's no bottom line. There's no line below which you won't go because you've already gone there before. She's been having sex for years and didn't want it. Because you know why she didn't want it? Because you're not nice. Nobody wants to have sex with a guy that's not nice.
Judge Lynn Toller's ruling next. Divorce Court. Judge Lynn Toller's ruling right now.
Mrs. Johnson, I don't think you get an opportunity to speak for yourself in your own home. You are here, you are safe, you are among people who care about you. Is there anything you care to say?
I do want this to work because we have kids together, but I want him to know that it doesn't have to. I don't need to be in this relationship. If he can't change, then me and my kids gonna have to go, because I'm not gonna put my kids through this anymore. It's not me that has to do all the changing. He has to do some.
Ms. Johnson, I read everything you said on here. Let me say something to you. Woman to woman, your daughter will live whatever hell you tolerate. She'll believe that a man who cares for her, who loves her, will be abusive to her, mean to her, treat her badly, and she'll take it because that's the script you guys have written for her. I am worried about you. Mr. Wilson, if she makes any decisions that she needs to make, it's going to make you very, very angry. And you can be very, very wrong guy. I'm asking you for your daughter's sake, to treat her, your girlfriend, like you would want a man to treat your daughter. If a man put your daughter in a park. Now, your daughter's 17 and knocked up, and her man put her in a park, and she comes home and, hey, Daddy, I spent last night in the park. What would you do?
Go off.
Yeah. You go over and visit the brother, wouldn't you?
I'd be in
You'd
jail
have
the
a
next
whole
day.
lot to say and a whole lot to do, because that's a whole lot of wrong.
Right. I was wrong, Your Honor.
No, but what I'm saying, you're still wrong. Her voice quivered with her first sentence in this courtroom. And her first sentence to me was, what I don't think he likes is that I'm a grown woman and I can say no. This is the voice and the words of a woman who does not feel valued in her own home, who is actually frightened in her own home. And you're the person who's made her that way. She broke out with that.
Yeah.
You were being funny and jovial and was laughing and this and that, and because she brought all of that stress and burden in here, and the minute she got an opportunity to say, hey, let me tell you how much I hurt, she jumped on it. That's what you've done. I don't know if he can change or not. He made a huge change before, but I can never recommend someone staying in a home in which they do not feel safe. I also can never recommend you simply just up and leaving without doing so safely, because people who think they own you, when you decide to leave them, can act awfully ugly. And I'm worried about you, and I want you to be okay. You're 23. Life just started yesterday for you. You know, you have opportunity. Instead of burdened and beleaguered, you have a beautiful tomorrow waiting for you, pretty as these flowers. It's not over, it's just getting started, and you decide what your tomorrow's gonna be. You do that, because you got the brains, you've got the ability to pull it off, you can do it. I believe it, and now I want you to believe it. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
So take this advice, you know, woo! None of that. None of that. And don't buy words from him. I'm gonna change, I'm gonna do better. What you need to wait for are actions. Wholesale change in behavior, Mr. Wilson. You've changed before. I hope you can do it again, because she deserves more than what you're giving her. And your daughter will live the hell you create. Stop it. This matter is adjourned.
Sherell agrees with the judge, and she will wait to see if Terrence changes his behavior before they marry. Post a comment or submit your case at divorcecourt.com or call toll-free 1-877-311-2222. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Divorce Court.